Hi guys, this is Sam from Fluid Social, coming to you from St Paul's Station, just perching at the moment. Today I'm going to talk to you about the whole nice guy versus bad boy paradigm. And essentially a lot of guys getting confused about whether they're meant to be nice and good or whether they're meant to be kind of bad and selfish. And like, where's that balance and how does it work? And why do guys that seem to be really good and nice and kind and generous not get success, where people that seem to be a bit more of a dick seem to do a lot better with women? What is going on here? So first I'm going to start with the sort of breakdown of conscientiousness as a personality trait and agreeableness. Conscientiousness is more the sort of going after what you want, route one, driven, organised, disciplined, whereas agreeableness tends to be wanting to get on with everyone, wanting to be very equitable, sharing everything that you can, being kind, being generous, being thoughtful of others, and there's a balance between the two. So generally in this case, you don't want to modify or manipulate your own personality, your own character in any way. You're going to be naturally more on the agreeable side or more on the conscientiousness side. Generally, agreeable people tend to be more socially aware. They have acute awareness of if someone's interested in them, if someone's enjoying the conversation, and conscientious people are a little more focused on the result, getting the number. There's a bit more of that killer instinct, really going for what you want in every situation. So a lot of my clients tend to be more on the agreeableness side, more on the sort of, I want to make other people happy, I want things to generally be good, to be generous, to be kind, to share my love with as many people as possible in the sort of most hippie sense of the word. And so how do you balance these two things? Well, that sort of bad boy stereotype is generally someone who's much higher in traits of conscientiousness, and that good guy, nice guy stereotype is generally someone that is high in traits of agreeableness. You want to be able to balance out whichever ratio you have personally. So someone that's very agreeable, what you want to be able to demonstrate early on in the interaction is simply an ability to be comfortable in positions of conflict. So what I mean by that is that when that situation comes, if the girl is just giving you that weird look where she's like, I don't know anything about you yet and I'm not going to make this easy for you, the agreeable person tends to be like, oh, I didn't mean to surprise you, or I don't want to overstep the mark with anything. They tend to react to that in a way that sort of gives away any sense that they're leading it and they want something to happen. They really have a strong intention. Whereas the conscientious person will just plow on through. So if you're somebody that's high in traits of agreeableness, first thing you want to demonstrate is that you're comfortable in positions of conflict. So using that example, you've approached a girl, you've told her she looks nice and she's looking at you like that. First thing you want to say is, you know, I really like it when girls give me that look. I like it when someone tests me. That's cool. It suits you. You want to commend her for giving you that bitchy face, because what it shows is that you're comfortable with her sense of conflict, with her idea that she doesn't have to just be nice to you. She doesn't have to give you a free pass straight away just because you've come up to her. She's allowed to test you. She's allowed to make things a little bit testing and a little bit tricky for you, to test your gumption, to test your ability to deal with conflict. Now, if you're on the other side of the spectrum, if you're someone that's very happy in positions of conflict, you know what you want, but often you're alienating girls, you feel like you're not really connecting with them because you're going after what you want, but you're not quite aware of the nuances or of how to build that connection. You want to balance that out with overcompensating for your lack of agreeableness by trying to be more agreeable, trying to build that comfort. So an example would be, you're in the interaction, she knows you like her, you're having the conversation, but you're thinking, how do I soften this up? How do I connect with this woman? So in those cases, you want to find things that you can agree about. So you might say, like, I feel like you're the type of person that prefers like house music. You like the sort of electronic music parties. And she says yes. And you say, well, actually recently I've been getting more into it. Normally I go for the more kind of this sort of music, but recently I've been getting into that. I like that. What's your favorite artist? Try and connect on topics of similar interest. I wouldn't usually recommend just trying to agree on situations, but that's simply because the majority of the people I work with find those situations of awkwardness, conflict, tension very difficult to handle. But that's not for everyone. So if you are a person that's more conscientious, more results focused, you find it easy to ask for the number, but you find it difficult to connect, then balance it out. Try to find commonalities. Try to expose the vulnerabilities in your personality. What makes you scared? Talk about situations where you felt under pressure and how that made you feel. Try and soften yourself and connect with her. It's basically like the product that I've just filmed actually has a lot of examples where I'm talking to a girl and at some point it's been too agreeable and I literally say in the interaction, I haven't made my intent clear here, I find you very attractive, like I'd love to see you again. And it's not so much to get the result, but it's to remind myself that when I'm being too agreeable, when things are going too smoothly and I feel like there's no tension, there's no demonstration that I'm comfortable in positions of conflict, I should overcompensate there to balance up the interaction. And actually another chapter of the product shows me going too far the other way, where it's very sexual, but she's kind of looking at me in a way that's like, I'm just there for the number, for the result. And actually a friend of mine heard the girl afterwards saying, yeah, he'd be good for sex, but nothing else, after I had the interaction. And that was a lesson for me that I should have softened myself there and actually tried to get to know her. So it's a simple topic, this one. It's pretty easy, but it's really important to remind you guys that whatever side of the spectrum you land on, you can always balance that out in the interaction. Just think about it. Am I feeling like this is a little bit superficial or a little bit detached? And if so, how can I bring in a bit of warmth? How can I connect with her? Or if you're saying, well, it's a good conversation, but there's nothing sexual there, how can I then become more conscientious? Expressing your intent clearly, holding the eye contact and bringing that little bit of subtlety, that bit of sexual tension into the interaction. So if you guys want to learn this in person, I'm booked up in London, but from August till October the 28th, I'm going to be in Brazil. So if anyone wants a holiday out there to meet beautiful Brazilian women, to build social networks over there, then I'll be offering my services for week-long coaching over there. Get in contact at the email address listed below. That's admin@fluid.social, and we can talk about that more. If you can't get out there, I will be offering Skype calls. It will be 1 hour a week for a month between August 28th and October the 28th. After that, I'll be back in London for a substantial period of time. So you guys really focus on this now. Try and balance out the areas of your conversation, the areas of your interaction where you feel like it's weighted either on the agreeableness side or the conscientiousness side. Either you're being too much of that straight talking sort of bad boy that's unable to connect, or too much of that sort of docile, agreeable guy. You've got to bring a sense of balance and restore sort of an equity and an equal ratio in each case. This has been Sam, talking to you from St. Paul's Station. I'll see you in the next video. Sam, out.